Matthew Bible Summary to Genesis 41. Pharaoh's dreams are expounded by Joseph. He is made ruler over all Egypt. He hath 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. The dearth beginneth in Egypt. The 41st chapter. And it fortuned at 2 years' end that Pharaoh dreamed, and thought that he stood by a river's side, and that there came out of the river 7 goodly kine, and fat-fleshed, and fed in a meadow. And him thought that 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, evil-favoured and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other upon the brink of the river. And the evil-favoured and lean-fleshed kine ate up the 7 well-favoured and fat kine, and he awoke therewith. And he slept again, and dreamed the second time, that 7 ears of corn grew upon one stalk, rank and goodly, and that 7 thin ears blasted with the wind sprang up after them, and that the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And then Pharaoh awaked, and see, here is his dream. When the morning came, his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the soothsayers of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof, and told them his dream. But there was none of them that could interpretate it unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my fault this day. Pharaoh was angry with his servants, and put in ward in the chief marshal's house both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed both of us in one night, and each man's dream of a sundry interpretation. And there was with us a young man, an Hebrew born, servant unto the chief marshal. And we told him, and he declared our dreams to us according to either of our dreams. And as he declared them unto us, even so it came to pass. I was restored to mine office again, and he was hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they made him haste out of prison. And he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and went in to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and no man can interpretate it. But I have heard say of thee, that as soon as thou hearest a dream, thou dost interpretate it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace without me. Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream methought I stood by a river's side, and there came out of the river 7 fat-fleshed and well-favoured kine, and fed in the meadow. And then 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very evil-favoured and lean-fleshed, so that I never saw their like in all the land of Egypt in evil-favouredness. And the 7 lean and evil-favoured kine ate up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, a man could not perceive that they had eaten them, for they were still as evil-favored as they were at the beginning. And I awoke. And I saw again in my dream 7 ears sprang out of one stalk, full and good, and 7 other ears, withered, thin, and blasted with wind, sprang up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I have told it unto the soothsayers, but no man can tell me what it meaneth. Then Joseph said unto Pharaoh, Both Pharaoh's dreams are one. And God doth show Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years also, and it is but one dream. Likewise, the 7 thin and evil-favored kine that came out after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty and blasted ears shall be 7 years of hunger. This is that which I said unto Pharaoh, that God doth show Pharaoh what he is about to do. Behold, there shall come 7 years of great plenteousness throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of hunger, so that all the plenteousness shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And the hunger shall consume the land, so that the plenteousness shall not be once seen in the land by reason of that hunger that shall come after, for it shall be exceeding great. And as concerning that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh the 2nd time, it betokeneth that the thing is certainly prepared of God, and that God will shortly bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh provide for a man of understanding and wisdom, and set him over the land of Egypt. And let Pharaoh make officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of these good years that come, and lay up corn under the power of Pharaoh, that there may be food in the cities, and there let them keep it, that there may be food in store in the land, against the 7 years of hunger which shall come in the land of Egypt, and that the land perish not through hunger. And the saying pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. Then said Pharaoh unto his servants, Where shall we find such a man as this is, that hath the Spirit of God in him? Wherefore Pharaoh said unto Joseph, For as much as God hath showed thee all this, there is no man of understanding or of wisdom like unto thee. Thou therefore shalt be over my house, and according to thy word shall all my people obey. Only in the king's seat will I be above thee. And he said unto Joseph, Behold, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And he took off his ring from his finger, and put it upon Joseph's finger, and arrayed him in raiment of bys, and put a golden chain about his neck, and set him upon the best chariot that he had, save one. And they cried before him, Abrech. and that Pharaoh had made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh. Without thy will shall no man lift up either his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And he called Joseph's name Zophnath Paaneah. And he gave him to wife Osnath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. Then went Joseph abroad in the land of Egypt, and he was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And then Joseph departed from Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years they made sheaves, and gathered up all the food of the 7 plenteous years which were in the land of Egypt, and put it into the cities. And he put the food of the fields that grew round about every city, even in the same. And Joseph laid up corn in store, like unto the sand of the sea in multitude, out of measure, until he left numbering. For it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of hunger came, which Osnath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And he called the name of the first son Manasseh. For God, said he, hath made me forget all my labor and all my father's household. The second called he Ephraim. For God, said he, hath caused me to grow in the land of my trouble. And when the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended, then came the 7 years of dearth, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in the land of Egypt was there yet food. When now all the land of Egypt began to hunger, then cried the people to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all Egypt, Go unto Joseph, and what he saith to you, that do. And when the dearth was throughout all the land, Joseph opened all that was in the cities, and sold unto the Egyptians. And hunger waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came to Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the hunger was so sore in all lands.